Hello, everyone. Right. I'm going to go through the incident when I got attacked and stabbed in Manchester. I mean, there's been so many things. Some woman stopped supporting me because she said that I got stabbed because of Melanie Shaw. Nothing to do with Melanie Shaw. I've never, ever said that my stabbing is to do with anything I do, but I'll go through it. So, August 2018, and I've been on the Melanie Shaw. I've been doing a lot of Melanie Shaws in Leeds, and I met Arlene, and this was the second time she was down in Manchester, and she come on Friday the 17th of August, about 7 p.m. So I met her at the train station. We headed off home, changed, then we come back out with Jim Edwards, Ryan, Aaron, and Joe. And then we came back uptown, and it was summer, August, so it was nice and warm and pleasant. So we come back out. We headed off up towards the Piccadilly area and went to the Spa shop and got a pack of beers. Then we walked up and down the gay village area, up and down the canal path. Ryan knows a lot of the bouncers on the clubs, and we're just having a laugh with all the trannies and all that outside the clubs. So we've gone down, we've come back up, we've drunk all our beers, then we've gone back to the shop, got another lot of beers, and headed off back down to the gay village. And then at the end of the night, we headed back up towards that area. Now, we'd noticed and we knew that there was gangs operating in Manchester. We weren't looking for them or anything. We're just on a night out. Remember, this is Arlene's second time in Manchester, and we're just going out for a bit up and down the canal area and that. She'd never seen any of that, and it is a lovely area when you get down to it for anyone to use. So we've headed back up, and in the picture there, you can see on the I think my mouse will be showing, up here, around there, that's where the Spa store is. So we've come back to here. Now, Ryan's got on a bus and gone towards Piccadilly. Yeah, not towards the vans, gone towards Piccadilly. And then we've headed off, and we could have got a taxi, but I said, let's walk down and get a taxi at the other side of the city centre. So the taxi's not taking us all round and it's costing us more money. Thing you do. It's not cold or anything. So we start to walk down here. Now, around this area, these roads are empty at night, in the evening. There's plenty of room, and the big wide roads is plenty of room. So we're walking down, then two lads have come onto the path and purposely bumped into Jim, shouldered him. Jim's turned around. He's had a couple of beers. What are you doing? Oh, fucking hell, what are you doing? These lads have started on us. And then before we know it, there's about a dozen of them. There's a load of lads around us. And one of the lads, Joe, gets hit straight on the face. So he's out. He's out now. He's out for the count, Joe. He's not knocked out, but he's just been smacked right on his nose, on his face. So he's stunned. Then we had to fight the lads off us, and they were attacking us and stuff like that. Arlene's around at this time. She isn't attacking anyone. She's not throwing her handbag around, hitting anyone. She's just around the edges of the fray. And I didn't know I'd been stabbed, but I definitely give as good as I got. Well, I got stabbed, but when I got to the hospital, there was cuts on my knuckles and my hands were bruised. So my knuckles were sore. So I've definitely been hitting people. And so coming towards the end of this bit of a scuffle, one of the lads has gone down at this time during the scuffle, and I've knelt down to pick his keys up that fell out of his pocket and help him back up, and got kicked on the side of the face, but I didn't go down. I stood back up. We faced off with these guys. At one point, I was shouting, "Stop, stop," and I had my hands out, and everyone stopped. All the lads stopped, and everyone stopped. I tried to talk to them, and then one of them grabbed my chain, and that were it. We're off again then. So the lads have all scarpered off when more people have come over. And one of the guys who've come over is on a bike. He's come over to me. He's come over to me. Then I've realised I've been stabbed. He's tried bandaging me up. And he says to Arlene, Arlene by this time is shaking, absolutely shaking. And he said to Arlene, she said, it's only my second time in Man. She said, it's not such a bad place. And I went, well, I disagree, mate. I can tell you a lot about crime, and I can. Even before that stabbing, I always talked about violent crime and crime in Greater Manchester. So then one of the lads had slumped to the bus stop, and by this time we'd realised that his injury was worse than ours. Mine was a stab in the side, and I was still able to walk. The other lad had a slash under his arm. Ours had been stabbed in the stomach, which had clipped his liver. If it had gone in more, he'd be dead. For 12 hours, he was critical. Well, not critical, but he wasn't safe for 12 hours. So the lads have got, police have come over. Arlene's pointed out 3 lads who she thinks were there. They was against the shop. Let me just get it. Where my thing is, there's a shop just here on the corner. They was stood there. So a policeman got these 3 lads there. And I'm at this bus stop here. And it's just like across the road to get to it. When I'd realised, I started to make my way across the road. 2 policemen and Arlene, I'd realised I was stabbed, but 2 policemen and Arlene had to hold me back because I wanted to go and kick off with them lads. If I would have got hold of them, they would have gone through the panes of the windows, I'm telling you. So then I've come back over here. Then we've gone to hospital. I want to give a big shout out, although I haven't talked to him in a while, Barry Finnerty. Soon as Barry's heard, he's booked his day off work because he's on night shift or something. And he's come over and he's been ferrying us from the hospital back to 97. And Barry did that. Barry was up all night doing that. One of the lads got out straight away. I got out next, and the other lad was in till the morning the next day. Then Barry went for him the next day. So big shout out to Barry Finnerty there. So yeah, we got to the hospital. So as far as we knew, 3 lads were arrested. Let's go through what the papers say. 3 teenagers have been arrested after a group of men were stabbed in Manchester Piccadilly Gardens. Police were called to the stabbing around 1:20 a.m. early hours of Saturday morning. 3 men suffered knife wounds and were given first aid by members of the public before being taken to hospital. One of the victims is in a serious but stable condition, police said. That was ours, the lad who got clipped in the liver. The second 51. I'm not 51, I was 50. I must have been 51, is in a stable condition. And the third, 36, was treated for less serious injuries and has been released from hospital. 3 teenage boys, 2 aged 15, 1 aged 17, have been arrested on suspicion of drug offences, possession of a weapon and Section 18 assault. They remain in custody for questioning. A knife was recovered from the Piccadilly area. Police say a crime scene is still in place. Anyone with any information, blah, 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 blah. So I've been partly bandaged up, and now I'm in an ambulance at the bus stop here. And cop comes in to talk to me to get details of the attack. Now, I weren't drunk. I had a couple of cans, but I weren't drunk. Although I couldn't identify individual people, what did I give him? He said, well, can you tell me who attacked you? I said, there was about 12 of them. There was about 12. And they were all black. And when I said that, he sort of like winced. And I went, listen, mate, if you want me to tell you that they're all white, well, I'm not going to. They were all black lads and were all aged between 15 and 25. Then we found out they'd arrested two 15-year-olds and a 17-year-old. So my age range was bang on. What I said between 15 and 25 was exactly right. And they're all black, and I'm just guessing. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they were West Indian origin. They're West Indian origin. They're all black. Now, so this is on a Saturday, so I'm released Saturday. It wasn't till Monday that the sergeant come round to interview us. And why I couldn't make it any earlier than that was on that Saturday night, there were eight incidents that were similar to ours. So there was knives pulled out on people, a couple of people got slashed, and there was 3 sexual assaults. And as far as we know, 2 of them were rapes. And that was the night after we got attacked in Piccadilly Gardens area. So we're talking to the copper. Now, at first, we didn't really know who'd done what, but we did our own research, and off Instagram and social media, we got some video footage of the attack. I don't know where it is. I'll try and dig it up one day. And the police said to us that, eventually said to us that it was an organised crime gang who had attacked us. And these were the same lads who were hanging around on the corners of Manchester streets for a while. The police had been trying to break them up. They knew that the gang were there, but they were been trying to break them up. But because they're all under 18, they're very restricted with what they can do. You can't just grab them off the streets and lock them up. So when he's taking our statements, he said, "Do you want to go?" The guy said, "Do you want to go through with this?" And making statements, having to go to court. And yes, I do. Yes, I do. It wasn't like I stood up and said, "What the fuck?" You know, like, of course I want to go through with it. I stood up off my bed and said, "I want to go through with it. I'm not having this. Don't think that I'm not saying nothing so that there's no report. I want these guys locked up for what they've done." So 6 months into this now, 6 months later, we've heard nothing. I've gone to Scotland for a couple of months to recuperate, come back. They've done forensics and blood tests on the knife they found at the scene, and one of the lads he arrested had a knife on him. The lad they arrested, his knife wasn't used in the attack, but the knife that was found on the scene was. And 6 months into it, I phoned them up and I said, "You know, like, what's going on?" "Well, we're still waiting for the Crown Prosecution Service to decide whether to go ahead with the case." "You what? You what? What do you mean you're waiting?" I said, "One of us was nearly seen." I swore on the phone to the woman. And she said, "Please don't swear at me and all this, you know." "Well, you're not doing your job properly." I said, 3 of us got stabbed and you're not going to do nothing. These lads, the 3 you arrested, want locking up. And so this was 6 months later. Now, before this, within the first week of this happening, we had a big discussion. Tom English, Joel, all the crew were there. And there's about more than a dozen of us. And we sat down in a meeting deciding what to do. Do we contact the police and go ahead with our statements, or do we not say nothing and just deal with it ourselves? Now, honestly, I've said this to the police, me. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I'm not incriminating myself. I did the right thing. So we decided what to do. Now, we was just going to get a van and get rid of these guys and you never see them again. That was one of the options. The other option was go to the police. And it was me and Jim who said to everyone, "We need to go through the police." So we did. We went through the police routes. So 6 months later, nothing. Now, in between this 6 months, I got pulled in by counter-terrorism from stuff that I'd done earlier in the following year before, because the 6 months had gone, so it was just after Christmas. And they pulled me for saying something the year before, and they knew this case was on us. This is one of the things they said when they talked to me. They said, I said, well, yeah, so I should talk about crime because I got stabbed in Manchester. Yeah, we know about your case, Mr. Lawrence. And so at this point, we didn't really know much. We guessed that these guys was part of a organised crime gang, but it didn't come official until the police told me shortly before we went to court that these guys was off a crime gang that had been operating in Manchester, Piccadilly area. I don't think there was anyone white in the gang. I think they were all black, West Indian grandsons or whatever you want to say. Not Windrush, West Indian. Maybe some Africans in there, but that's what happened. So they winced when I said they were all black. These lads, they fucking winced. The police, they winced. They didn't want to hear it. The attitude I got off them is that they didn't want to hear what colour the people were who attacked me. You know, so what am I going to just get attacked and not? This is what I mean. This is why people don't report crimes, because of incidents like this where I've mentioned the colour of these guys, giving them a description, and coppers winced at me. You know, like you're going down difficult road, like just you know, like honestly, you just couldn't make up. That's what it was like. And I just weren't having it, me. So since then, I've been in Manchester. I've talked about my stabbing. I've talked about other violent crime across Manchester. I've talked about the guy who got kicked 100 times to his head and body. Guys kidnapping people at 15 and sexually abusing them and torturing them. I've told you what it's like in Greater Manchester. So this is my incident. Now, a woman who supported me when I did a lot for Melanie Shaw did a rant one day saying that this stabbing was to do with Melanie Shaw. It was nothing to do with that. It was nothing to do with that. It was nothing to do with that. And, you know, I'm not a fucking sheep, mate. I've been vocal about this case. And a year after, I mentioned one of the lads because I read his name out. 1 second. I read his name out because he was over 18. And I couldn't really say anything about the other two guys, but I read their names out as well lately because they're over 18 now, and I don't give a flying toss what anyone thinks. When I comment on something to do, I commented on a post in Bolton News, and I put a meme up of some Chinese guy spitting blood when he's getting stabbed, and somebody's come on and said, "Oh, what if the victim's family see that, you know, you a bit well, no, I'm not disrespectful because it is a stab fest. That's what we're on in Manchester now. We're on a stab fest. We're on a stab fest in the country, if anyone hasn't noticed. And I know we've got victims' families and all that, but this mentality of, oh, let's not say nothing, be nice, that's not going to work. What we need to be angry, and we need to be asking questions. Why are our kids going around the streets stabbing each other? Why are our kids doing that? Not, it's terrible. It's terrible. No, I got stabbed for 12 hours. Our friend was in a serious condition, being stabbed in the liver. So don't nobody tell me what it's like when when your mate who you've been hanging around with for months and you go on demos you live with, when your mate's nearly dying. Don't nobody tell me And I bet a lot of other people have been through that. But I'm not one of them who's going to go, I'm not going to say nothing. It might hurt people's feelings. No. If we don't talk about crime, then nothing will get done. And the lefties don't want us to do that. So what they do, they make you feel sorry. And, oh, the poor victim's family. And then on the other side, what the left will do, oh, the poor person who stabbed you. He must have been he's had a hard life and all that. We're not having that shit in our society. When someone gets stabbed and it's a child, we should all be kicking off with our children and telling them how bad knives are and what they do. 15-year-olds, the average age for the worst knife crimes in the UK now is aged between 15 and 25. Do the research and look it up yourself. Age between 15 and 25. So that was my stabbing incident in August 2018. If you don't believe me, go and ask Arlene Bennett. If you don't believe me, go and ask Jim Edwards. If you don't believe me, ask all my friends. They'll tell you the same thing. When we ended up getting to court, the lads got off with behavioural orders. They wasn't going to prosecute them until the eldest, who got caught with a knife again while he was on bail. So he's no respect for anyone, him. His crimes was getting worse. So he was good, and I held up the court case for 2 hours because I pointed out to the CPS guy that on record his crimes are getting worse. They're going up in stages, and that was the knifing incident in 2018. Again, I'm not going to apologise to anyone or be thinking about how vocal I am about violent crime, because it's happened to me. A gun, a double-barrel shotgun was shot at my sister's house, and then another 2 residential properties with kids in them on the estate in the same week 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm quite concerned. There was a serious stabbing incident hundreds of yards away from where my little nephews live, between a 14 and 15-year-old girl. Yes, I'm concerned about knife crime, especially in our youths. If we don't talk about it, nothing's going to get done. We don't want to go down that mentality route where, oh, feel sorry for the victims' families. No, what you should be doing is feeling angry, then going supporting the victims' families by getting the demo done, going out on the streets, knocking on people's doors, finding out what's going on, talking to parents and asking them what the kids are doing. Simple as what the kids are doing. And if any parent comes out saying, oh, well, my kids lovely, don't go down that route, please. We've got a serious problem with all our, certainly working class and inner city areas with the kids. Something needs to be done, and I'll always talk about it. But that's my stabbing incident. Saturday morning, 1:30 a.m., 2018, August. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm just going to say big up again to Barry Finnerty, Jim Edwards, Aaron, Jo, Arlene, Ryan, all the other lads who supported us. On that fact, a couple of our friends, M. Higgins from Yorkshire, and her fella came down with a stab vest. It didn't fit me, but it fitted Ryan. 2 weeks later, Ryan's out and gets attacked by the same lads and stabbed in the back, but he had the stab vest on. So, welcome to Manchester. Welcome to Oldham. Welcome to Manchester. That's my story. Thank you.